This is Joe from Thunk Tank Podcast, and thank you so much for joining us here today on our latest episode, all about how to win the lotto. Yes, that's right, folks. You heard it right here. We are going to share with you today the immense secrets of how to win the lottery. I don't know what else to say. We think we have some interesting tips. We recently won a very, very small sum based on our demented formulas. So we like to discuss that and share some of our finest craft beer with you while we discuss exactly the merits of how to play the lottery. So if you're interested in any of that, you have come to the right place. And I'm happy to also mention that today will be our first episode that we have live video of. So you can check that out on YouTube. Hop over there if you're not already. You'll get to see us in action in real, raw, thunky form. So yeah, anyways, thanks for joining us. If you want to hear the Drunk Tank extra to this episode, check us out over at patreon.com. That's patreon.com/thunktankpodcast. And of course, if you want to talk to us more, hit us up on Twitter at thunktankers or on our main site at thunktankpodcast.com. Other than that, thanks for joining us. Play the lotto safe, kids, and don't play the lotto if you are a kid, actually, because that's illegal advice. But otherwise, hope you enjoy, and see you in the tank.
Attention, humans. This is a Thunk Tank. Please insert this podcast directly into your nearest orifice for viewing pleasure.
Okay, you ready? Oh, shit.
Welcome to the Thunk Tank. Welcome to the Thunk Tank.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Come into our Thunk Tank.
Luke, don't switch to the other peanuts.
Welcome to the Thunk Tank. Come in the tank. We're thinking, and we're drinking,
And we're thunked.
Oh my god, I'm probably more beer than man if we go far enough back at this point. How long do you spend in a given week on any one job?
I don't too much.
2 hours at a time at the most, 20 minutes. So of course you have ADD. You just jump from one to the next to the next.
But it's making me call out other people too, because
It's getting worse, is what you're saying, right?
Me and Luke were at this Halloween.
We're
party
live,
last night,
by the way. It's recording.
And Luke's trying to talk to this rando dude, and he's saying normal people things.
This was awful.
He's saying
this was awful.
Luke's trying to have a human conversation, and in the middle of their conversation,
I just met the guy, by the way. I've never met him, and it's a friend of ours, new boyfriend.
Oh, is it?
Okay, so your new best friend. Go on.
No, and he's also a brass player, so like it was like there's the professional connection, I'm meeting this new person, and the other person was like, "Oh, I really want you to meet this person." That was the energy.
I didn't know that was any of the context.
Of course you didn't know it, but go on, continue. So we have some context.
So I walk over and I just start watching Luke trying to have this human conversation for about a minute, and I start laughing, and he looks at me as if, wait, what? And I say, no, it's just so funny watching you trying to be a real person, having a real human conversation.
And then the kid looks at me and Joe and goes like, what?
And Luke breaks the fourth wall then, and it's just like, you're right, it's ridiculous. But I didn't realize that context, that this was an actual, connection in terms of professional development, and it was very Always Sunny.
No, it wasn't just a development thing. It's not always for like who versus and getting.
Yeah, it was just so Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's like, oh look, Luke's trying to be a real boy. This is really interesting.
I felt like we were the Always Sunny characters. Like I haven't been to a party like that in a while because
where you bullshit with people. Oh yeah, what's your focus? What do you?
It was a party where I mostly didn't know the people there well, so every conversation was surfacey. And
you kind of have to test the waters before you get in deep, because that one guy
you can't open with like, man, my dick is all like chafed from jerking off too much.
But within 5 minutes you were asking him whether he wipes sitting down or standing up. Like
that's when I got drunk.
We got to the point with that guy, but we eased him in, and then
that was Tommy. He's cool.
Oh, really? Yeah. I gave him a card for our podcast.
Oh, nice.
I realized I had Yanka was like, you have the business cards. Give him a business
That's why
card.
they exist.
Okay, so all right, this is what I got out of that story.
Yeah, what did you get out of it?
you guys are getting older, so you don't meet many new people.
Yeah,
and
this all
you were
checks
in a
out.
situation where you were watching Luke make small talk with somebody.
Yes.
And you were so genuinely impressed
Yes.
with how like on Asperger's he was seeming that you complimented him on it.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "What's going on?" Like I thought I was just like, this is a normal person talking. And
Yeah, Joe was scared that he saw
were
me like actually pedaling the bicycle of socializing. Like,
Yeah, I was like, it's so funny. He's trying to be a real boy.
yeah.
He's not a real
Oh,
boy.
wait,
What?
is that going to be backwards?
No, it's actually forwards. Yeah, we can see it.
It's blurry, but like, share, and subscribe. We now
Oh,
have
I see what you're doing. Yeah.
official Thunk Tank business card. So if you would like one, please
Screen capture that. Make that the video.
please,
episode.
a blurry business card in the
Break
camera.
my hands.
With some
Bam.
meaty Italian hands around it.
Yeah,
My salami
come see me.
palms.
I have the business cards I can give you. You just have to find me.
Yep.
You know?
We leave them at bars.
All right,
all
well,
the
cheers,
time.
boys. This is
Cheers.
a beer podcast, so cheers.
Yeah, Joe's
Cheers.
drinking a gin and tonic like a little,
Well,
I don't know, prissy.
That's fine.
I
what do
real-
you call them?
Yeah, I realized the way that I was because it kept coming up at this Halloween party last night where we would say, "Oh, we have a podcast."
Oh, I went in the frog suit. I have to say that.
He did go in the frog suit.
The frog suit that
Thank you,
our,
Duluth
our
Atheist.
biggest fan, or one of our biggest fans, Duluth Atheist, gave us,
Yes.
mailed to me. I wore that for Halloween last night.
Yes.
And I hopped around.
That's a conversation starter.
The ass flap is broken, so it just hangs open now. But that's perfect if I ever do
It
get
got a
into
lot
the
of
furry
use,
thing.
you know.
If
You know,
Yeah, I'm sure it got a lot
if,
of use to you. It was a
when,
party.
similar
You're hanging out.
words.
Party.
Anyways, I think
So-
we converted a lot of listeners or people. We will never be invited back to another party in that circle again, probably.
That's fine.
you
I'll
hear
take
the one
hate.
kid
I'll take
when
hate listens.
you said something
I'll take
about
a hate
the
lesson, yeah.
podcast, and then they were like, "Oh, you have a podcast." With the energy of like, is it on like music history or something? I'm
Right.
like,
Well, I realized the way to explain it just in
last
brief,
week's episode was on the soil composition of the Yangtze River during the colonial era.
aka the
And,
history of toilets.
yeah.
But no, actually, it was just about the history of toilets. Yeah.
And we didn't do any
Not quite
research.
as
We just talked about
academic.
toilets.
Well, the thing
I've
that
done a lot of research, not just for that episode.
just
in general.
personal
Yeah.
research. Yeah, I told
Yeah,
I was telling
on
people
toilets.
that it's a comedy commentary podcast because I like the alliteration, and I also
Yeah.
said that when I described it. So I kind of undermined my own.
You should call it a collective comedy commentary podcast because then we can call it CCCP, which is the
Isn't that the Soviet?
Cyrillic. Yeah, the Cyrillic lettering for
Yeah.
the USSR,
Yeah, the Soviet Union.
And we'll get clicks. We'll get downloads just from them. They had hundreds of millions of subscribers, right? At one point, forcibly, but still.
In
Yeah.
Soviet
subscribers.
Russia.
I'll take 4
In
subscribers.
Soviet Russia.
In Soviet
like,
Russia,
shares,
the
and
podcast
subscribes
listens to you.
The podcast,
you imagine a
like, shares,
podcast-
subscribes you.
A podcast gulag where it's just like cells of people that are forced to listen to Ben Shapiro or somebody or Joe Rogan's just play. This is the Joe Rogan wing.
Or even
And
worse,
it
you're
just-
forced to podcast and like say the things that they want you to say. Be like,
What do
yeah,
they
you
want
know,
you to
the
say?
government's really great. Like, we really like what they're
Great
doing.
government.
Great
Fantastic.
Oh, you mean the BBC? Oh, hot take.
Oh, I see what you
I
did
love
there.
the BBC.
This should be the podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
So, anyways, welcome to this episode, though.
all about the history. Oh fuck! All about how to win the lotto.
Yeah. So we're gonna
I'm
try to give you
titling
the
it
ins
that.
and outs on how to win the lottery because Joe and I recently won.
We won the lottery, and that's
And I
it.
gotta say that was a big win for me because I haven't won anything in a while.
I think we cracked the code on how to win the lotto. I think we're gonna get there, honestly.
Well,
and
we're
that's
up
why you're
now,
listening, yeah.
right? So it's going to take us weeks and weeks to like buy lotto tickets and realize
we'll
that
get there.
we broke even again.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Well, but anyways, Joe and I won $302.
That's called reinvestment. That's R&D. You gotta reinvest that money into the business.
Well,
which is
so
winning
I
the
think we
lottery.
have to set
Yeah,
a
let it-
limit.
let
How
it
much? How much of the $302 that we won should we reinvest back into more tickets?
oh, I spent it all already.
On what?
Bills and booze.
Oh, bills. Yeah, I paid my car insurance with it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
But I still have $5, so I could still
Here's
buy
the thing.
another one.
Here's the thing. You're gonna lose.
That's all it takes.
You're gonna lose a lot playing the lottery.
Well, let's just tell them what.
So you
what
might
we
as well
played.
skip-
Not like a lotto ticket, like the scratch offs. We played.
We played
the quick draw.
But
Yeah.
you might as well skip
At a
the
bar.
ones. You might as well skip the quick draws that you're gonna lose.
Why are all bars filled with quick draws? I mean, I know the answer, but like it's just worth thinking about.
Yeah.
It's
It's not so
complicated
quick draw
enough.
is. It's because it's a state thing because the state handles alcohol and the state handles the lottery. So because of that, they give the licenses for both. So they're willing to give licenses to both because if people gamble, they're going to drink, and if they're drinking, they're likely to gamble. The state makes money, even though they're both considered like sinful activities. So it's discouraged. It really means they can tax it at a higher rate, like cigarettes, alcohol, gambling, prostitution, marijuana.
Is that all
these
included
things
in the ATF? Because the ATF,
it's not the ATF anymore.
Right, because
the ATF is a
the
thing, but
biggest
they're
sins.
more in charge of like gun runners, I think.
But
Yeah,
it was alcohol,
you know,
tobacco,
our
firearms,
our
right? It
old
was like
friends-
It's the TPB now. It's the Tax and something Bureau. For like that's what if you run a brewery and you have to submit your recipes and get a license from the federal government, it's from the TPB now, not the ATF anymore.
Can you say that
I think
5
the
times
ATF
fast?
is just what?
It's pronounced
No, I
HPV,
barely said it
and it's
one
very
One
time.
time
But the
slow.
ATF is, I think, is like takes out gun runners and the cartel and shit now. I
Dude,
don't
our
think
friends
they're-
had a
I
run-in
didn't
with
know
the
that was a real
ATF. Do you
thing.
remember that?
No.
They're old friends who are
Who?
not really friends with them anymore, but they woke up one morning at like 5, 6 a.m. and they looked outside and there was like a commando guy with like a AK-47
gloss
type
over
gun.
the details.
Well, you know, you can sort that out however you want, but the point is, like I remember my friend like said he looked out the window and saw this guy in the alley between their apartment and the other apartment, and
Do you
he
really
just like
believe
got
this
on
story?
No, it happened.
How do you know?
Their next door neighbor was dealing drugs and weapons,
So, a guy
and they did a raid on this guy's house at. I didn't say camouflage. I
Yeah,
never
you
said
did.
that word.
You implied it, and I inferred it.
I may have implied it when I said the word commando,
Yeah,
but I meant commando like in that, like I should say
Oh, you
more
didn't
like a
have
SWAT
underpants?
team. Like it
so
was
he didn't
more
have,
like a
he
SWAT
didn't
team.
have underwear, is what you're saying.
Jesus Christ.
What you just said? He went commando.
All right, Johnny, do you have anything to say?
Is
I
that
remember
it?
that story.
that our
that was
episode?
I'm
one
too
of the worst
tired to deal
versions
with
of it.
Joe's resistance today.
Yeah, that's right. I kind of derailed you hard last night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're still.
I mean,
recovering
I'm
from all
over
that.
here not winning the lottery, so it's hard for me to really have
But
any.
you play
All
the
right,
lottery?
professional
let's keep going with
No.
how we won the lottery. 'cause
Let's start-
People probably want to know
All right,
how
Luke,
to win
Luke,
themselves.
Luke,
Yeah, I
you
wanna
ex-
hear
you
the
explain
story
what we did.
first.
All right.
You explain what we did.
Well, it started a year ago,
Oh God,
and
that's true. It did start a
we were-
year ago.
we
That's
were-
what, too much. Don't start. Go in the middle. Jump in the middle.
It was
I don't need a year of you drinking in
1774.
bars.
All right, I won $302. Is that too far?
No, you
Okay,
ruined
yeah,
the
that's
punchline.
a little somewhere in between. Somewhere
No,
in between.
at a Christmas party last year, Joe convinced me to go in on a raffle, and I said I'll go in with you if we decide that if either of us win,
That's
we'll
not what
split
happened.
the money.
That's not what happened. What happened was they had it was a company party, and they had a company raffle, and I entered, or I was going to enter the raffle for a $300 gift card, to Amazon gift card. And I told Luke, "Oh, you should enter. It's a good raffle." And Luke was like, "No, it's stupid. Like raffles are
It wa-
stupid."
How much was the entry?
It
was
was
it-
it was probably like $5 an
Okay.
entry. I think you could like buy however many.
I'm going to
Oh,
sum
so-
this up because
so
this is
people
going
bought a bunch
nowhere.
of tickets for $20 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can I guess at what you're getting to here? Is
yeah, you're gonna
Luke-
nail it though. You're too good at this. See, our
Luke
stupid
and-
listeners don't know. That's the thing. Like,
Luke
you're
and Joe
making it
have
not fun for them.
been. Luke and Joe are not natural gamblers, so to justify it, they've been going halfsies on gambling stuff like lotto tickets, quick draw raffles for the last
It's only
year or
happened
so.
twice.
It's sort of a enterprise because it's all about the thrill of buying the ticket. You know your
No, it's not.
chances of winning.
No, it's not.
Are so.
No, because
it's
we're
the thri-
winning. We're this is
But-
the episode. We're explaining the formula to how to win.
But
Maybe you
guys
could
didn't-
listen too and learn how to win the lottery yourself.
But did
Piece
you
of shit.
join lottery pools? You didn't invent. You guys didn't start. I'm guessing you
don't
didn't
know
start
that.
this lottery pool as
oh,
a money.
no! I have a new formula for how to make a lottery pool.
Since when?
But I'm saying you guys
Last
didn't
night.
get into this. You guys didn't get into this to make money. You got into it being like, I can't justify wasting
no,
$5.
I disagree.
I'll waste $2.50.
I'll tell you why I got into
That's
it.
not why I got into it.
I give myself
Okay.
permission when I'm like out at a bar, and I live in a town where I can just walk to a bar, so I find myself at a bar at least once a week, and or more. And
There we go.
You could have just said at least once a week. That also includes and more.
I know, but like the way Johnny looked at me was like, that sounds like bullshit. Like,
A little disingenuous. It's not bullshit. Just
Yeah.
you know.
so
right? Yeah,
I
at
give
least 3
I
times.
can
a
say
week would
I've
be more
drank
accurate.
beer in the
That's true.
past, but that doesn't give a clear picture.
yeah, exactly.
Of
Oh,
what's
I've
going
had
on.
beer.
Or you
That's
could say,
technically true, but
You could say,
you know.
"Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sober now."
Yeah, I've had a beer before.
No, you could just say, "I'm sober now," and be like, "Wait 1 second."
Or I drink once in a
Right.
while. It doesn't mean I don't drink the other whiles.
I'm gonna grab a beer. Actually.
Yeah, it's about spirit.
Oh man, the
of
video
law,
gets
for
to
sure.
see me in action now.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah,
shit!
I
And
guess so.
and he's got the long headphones so he can hear us.
Is this really going to be our first video? Oh no, we've had video episodes on YouTube. Am I
yeah,
allowed
but
to
not
say
with
YouTube?
Johnny, just with us because.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
know?
we have split screen now. Well, that's
Yeah, this is a big
incriminating.
deal. We're gonna jump right back into the story, but a quick 10-second aside. This is the first time we have a live video and audio feed of both East Coast and West Coast
shit.
studios. And as you can see, all that Patreon money goes into infrastructure.
Yeah.
So please go on with the story and enjoy the visual
Thunk Tank podcast
thrill of this cast. You can see how shiny my freaking head is in this video. It's so shiny for some reason.
That's the genie
And
powers.
audience,
Something like
Johnny's
that.
younger than Joe. If you didn't know,
Oh
Thanks,
yeah,
Luke,
dude.
for
People have
pointing
told me
out
that
again.
they think you're like 45 years old.
I look like that in this video. I mean,
It's not that you look
yeah.
like it. It's that you're married and have dogs and brew beer in your garage.
and you kind of have that like I'm 45 and
don't know.
tired from
I look
life
younger now.
wisdom to you.
You'll also look exactly
I am
how
very
you look.
world
Like
weary.
you look 45 now, but you'll look 45 when you're 45 too.
Oh no. I'm gonna. You know in the pictures you see of the.
Johnny's like
see pictures of farmers in the 30s?
What?
Yeah, you'll see it pictures that would say grape picker in 1941, 1933 or whatever in the Dust Bowl, those black and white Lifetime, Life magazine photos, and then you read the description and it's like a lifelong farmer at 43 and the guy
Yeah.
looks 90.
Yeah.
I'm going to be one of them.
Anyways, so
All right.
I convinced
Too
Luke,
much.
I convinced Luke to go in, and I said, "Well, we'll split it. Whoever wins." And Luke said, "Actually, that sounds pretty good." And so
Why though?
This was at the Christmas
at
party.
the Christmas party,
Yeah.
so and we won, and we split it, and then
Hold on, by splitting, do you guys each buy a ticket and split?
We
Yeah.
each
or
bought
you
a
just
couple
split the
tickets,
cost
probably.
of one ticket?
No, we each
Right?
bought our own tickets and agreed
Okay.
if one of us won, we would split the winnings, which is
And the
what-
winnings were like $300 to $400 worth of gift
gift cards. Yeah, and so we did-
mostly to Amazon.
And so what happened was this last time with the quick draw a few days ago, Luke convinced
And we won.
me because
How
I
much
didn't
did we win
understand how
total?
quick draw worked.
It was a fair amount. It was like something where I was like, I'm so glad I did this.
It was $302, I think.
No, I meant at the Christmas party.
It was at least a $300 gift card.
I think it was even more than that.
Yeah, it was a
honestly.
lot.
Yeah.
yeah, it was a lot.
It was
That's
like,
why I was like,
I walked out of there being like, I'm so glad I came to this Christmas party.
yeah, because there was because the stupid one everybody was betting on was the TV, and I was like, I don't think as many people are entering the like $300-400 gift card,
Yeah.
which I much rather have. I can buy TVs with that.
If I end up wanting a
Yeah.
TV, I'll get a TV with that.
But it was my
Yeah.
ticket. It was my ticket that won, and we split. I split with Luke, but with the quick draw, it was his ticket that.
By the
won.
way, I had one of the
And we
most
split.
serious conversations with Joe I've ever had
That doesn't
because
sound right.
we always bet each other to do things. And the joke is, I go, wait, so if I go up and I grab the microphone and I do this thing, you're really going to give me $100? And he goes, no, obviously not.
yeah.
I'm like, all right, so like you're
Right.
just saying words.
No, so at the last wedding that we were at, I told Luke that if he went up and took the mic during the toasts and just said, like, share, and subscribe, Thunk Tank Podcast, woo, I'd give him $100, and he didn't do it. He was thinking, like, toying with the idea, and at the end of the night,
My drunk brain was
he
toying
said,
with
"Wait,
the
would
idea,
you?" I should have done it, and I said, "Oh, I wouldn't have paid you." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Yeah, that's a lie. I just wanted you to get up and do it. I wouldn't give
I
you money
lied.
for that."
What do you
And that costume,
I
that
wouldn't
Halloween
know.
party we went to last night, we were getting ready, and I had just glasses for my costume because I have perfect vision, so I was visually impaired Joe. And Luke
Wait, what?
didn't want to have.
It's a shitty excuse to have a costume without really having one.
Yeah, so I had like
You just wore glasses?
they were
Yeah.
false lens.
Nobody else
glasses,
there
yeah.
knew he was in costume.
Yeah, they just thought I
Because
was a
nobody
nerd.
knows you, so they don't
Yeah.
know you don't wear glasses.
And
Right,
they-
right, but fuck
Weirdly
them.
enough, they didn't look at his
anti-costume.
vision report from his last medical exam. So
See,
I could have
this
carried
is the
that around, but
easiest
that would have
thing
been a
to-
different costume. if I
There's
carried
so
around
many
my vision
easier,
report.
better costumes. Today, this year,
That's
I
not
had
the
an
point. That's not the
Okay,
point
go.
of the story. The point of the story is Luke saw my costume and said, "Am I really gonna dress up in my frog suit? Is this even a costume party?" And I said, "Yeah, I just."
I
talked-"
wasn't sure it was a costume party. I was like 75% sure.
And
you know?
I said, "Yeah, I just talked to the guy." He
That's
said,
more of a
he
reason.
said, "Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Make sure you bring a costume." And Luke said, "Oh, okay." And then as we're walking,
that really was the thing that like the straw that broke my I'll put the fucking frog suit on.
yeah,
back.
because I said, yeah, and then so we're walking. We're about to walk in the door. We're walking up to the door, and I said, I turned to him. I forget who brought it. I think your fiance mentioned, "Oh, I hope this is actually a costume party." Because I hadn't talked to her, and I said, "Oh, I just told Luke it was. I have no idea whatsoever."
But we were already in the car on the way in our suits.
No, we were walking up to the door.
Oh, that's what it was.
What
Yeah.
does this have to do with the lotto? You were playing the lotto.
so
at a
Joe
Halloween
lies,
party?
So
right?
I lie a lot. Is the point.
So the point was,
that was the okay.
when we
but
did
I'll
this,
admit it. I'll be like, yeah, I lied. Like you
when
got
we
me.
did this
Yeah.
Christmas party thing, I remember going like, Joe, like they're about to draw it. Like, let's decide beforehand. I don't want to have
Right.
this conversation after and like play the like I was just kidding game.
Right.
Shake my hand. Do you seriously mean that like whoever wins will split it? And he was like, yeah, obviously, like whatever. And then obviously he did split it with me. And then when it was my ticket that won the lotto at the bar the other night, and it was $302 or whatever. And Joe kept going like, you're definitely, you're just fucking with me, obviously, because he just assumed like, how would why would we just win $302? Like,
Yeah.
and then I thought to
It's
myself,
not a believable
I could
amount.
play it as a joke and just go cash it tomorrow, and he would never know.
Right. Scan it and say, oh yeah, it said sorry, loser.
I'm not gonna lie, that thought did not enter into my mind.
Oh, it entered into my mind and I lost.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
why when you went to scan your ticket at the bathroom,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna watch him closely.
Yeah. Well,
Make sure he doesn't pocket a wad of hundreds
well,
before he
'cause
goes,
it-
hey,
but that's
we
the
won
truth.
It was
300.
5 games in a row, so like,
Yeah.
let's say if you won
Yeah.
if you got all 5 numbers 2 times,
Right.
that would be $600.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So it could end up being a decent amount of money. I mean, obviously, winning 300 is a decent amount when you put $5 down, right?
Yeah.
But the other voice that came online in my head was like, I would never enjoy like sitting in my house and counting
Yeah.
that money, knowing that like, and you could call this your conscience, right? Your concept of someone watching you.
Yeah.
It's yourself. It's your higher self.
Right.
You're like,
For sure.
I can't allow myself to be that much of a piece of his shit,
Yeah. It's not worth that self judgment of
Yeah.
what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have I really gotten here? You
Yeah.
know? That's like if you find yourself like eating like meat out of a garbage bag under a bridge, you have to ask yourself, is
As you
this
do.
where I am?
Yeah. But you're right. Because I had that same thought.
But it was Saturday night. What can you do?
But I
I'm
also.
hungry. There's
You're
meat.
hungry. There's meat right there. It
was
looks
cooked.
fresh. Yeah.
But
looked
also it's one of those.
Didn't taste human.
I think that's what. That is a point worth reiterating though, because honestly, splitting winnings like that, it feels more fun. That's part of it, right? If I
Yeah.
just won $300 and said, Luke lost, fuck you, meh.
Let me be honest though. If we won,
I don't know.
If I won
Not
by
the same.
myself,
I had a great time winning as a team.
let's say
Well, no. This is what it is. Is if Luke was just some guy that you see at the bar,
Oh,
or,
fuck him
once
then.
a month or whatever,
Yeah.
and you guys were there that day, and you knew me, like, oh hey, and you're both talking about quick draw, and you decided to do it. Then you do that calculation, you go, fuck this guy. This guy's kind of a dick. Like he just drinks at the same bar as me. I'd rather keep the $151 and lose the friendship than be a fair partner
I don't know
here.
though, because
Whereas you guys know each other,
Yeah.
you do a podcast together. Like you're not going to burn your
But,
years-long
Johnny,
relationship
did you
with
make
Luke
an
for
agreement with this
$150.
person beforehand, even though it's not a great friend, it's just a bar friend?
Let's say you did. Let's say you made
See,
the agreement.
If I
I would not be comfortable
Yeah.
reneging on that. It would eat
'Cause-
me alive. I
'cause-
wouldn't be able to sleep.
because Luke said that. to
Depends.
me.
What if he's a real douche? What if
No,
he tells you a
even
story
a
about
douche
how
deserves honor.
Okay,
I agree
what
with
if he
Luke.
just
I
the
would
day?
lose
What if?
sleep.
What if during the quick draw he tells you a story about? He goes, yeah. Well, anytime I find a stray cat, I take their collars off and throw them out because
Or what if he
they
says-
want it to be
No,
free.
I have a better one. What
Then
if,
I would say,
what if
you
he
know
says-
what? I would tell him to his face before the lottery draw. I would say, we are no
It's
longer
during.
lottery partners.
No, Luke.
Done.
No, it's
here's what
during.
he
I think
says.
that's fucked up what you said about cats, and I'm not friends with you anymore.
No, here's what
I'm
he
gonna
says.
go over to
Luke,
that seat at the end of the
He,
bar.
he shakes. He shakes.
would never
with
do
you.
that, but
he
go
shakes
ahead.
with
I would
you.
never be friends with someone who takes cats'
don't know.
collars off.
Well, you're friends with me. No. So you're a liar.
Fair enough.
All right, you got me. Should we Venmo you? I don't know how this works.
But Luke, what if he
Yes.
says that you shake
want
on the
cash.
deal, and then he says, "Oh man, if I win, I'm totally going to take that money and do something illegal with it." actually illegal with
Well,
it.
now you're adding in more data that changes the morality.
Yeah. What if he goes,
Right.
I can't wait to buy some meth with this cash.
Or if he
and
says,
give it
I'm
to
going
my
to buy a
child."
gun from Walmart and like shoot up my work because I'm really upset with
Right,
them, like,
what do you do
then I
then?
would obviously be like, I'm not giving you money that you just said you're going to use to aid you in killing people.
No, I
So
mean,
you're a liar.
at that point, if someone says
No,
that at the bar, you
Yeah,
need to call
you're
the
still a
police.
liar. You're a good liar. This is the old Ned Stark, Jon Snow question. Where is the line of honor versus sacrifice in the name of honor?
Okay, at the end
Well,
of the
honor
day, I
versus
think you should
duty,
listen to
right.
your own personal conscience.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
The higher
I
version
would
of
do
yourself-
the same thing. I wouldn't split the money
Yeah.
if he said that.
Yeah,
But you are technically
but you would have
still a
reasons
liar.
then, right?
Right. It
I'm never saying that like you should always stick to the agreements you make, but
All
you
right,
should
Luke,
be
you
really
see-
careful
how about
about
this?
breaking them. That's
Luke,
I-
you're at
the
a
old
supermarket.
Ned Stark, Jon Snow oath question.
Yeah.
that we did. An
Luke, you're-
episode on.
you're
Go
at the
back and listen to it.
supermarket.
check out the
and you
blog
see
post, thunktankpodcast.com/
Patreon.com/
I don't know.
podcast. Like, share, and imbibe.
So, Luke, you're at the supermarket and you see a kid be real shitty. The kid's swatting at the mom's leg, just like swinging and slapping the mom and like pulling stuff off shelves. And the mom finally winds up and fucking socks the kid.
Yeah,
And no one sees it but you.
and the
But,
kid's not like mentally other disabled.
No, just not as far as you can tell, not
Okay.
outwardly.
Just
He's
a
just
shitty
a shitty kid. But she socks the kid and like knocks the kid down, and the
Whoa,
kid's
whoa.
sad and quietly
Open
crying.
palm or
And
closed fist?
you can't quite tell. You just see her wind up and lay into the kid, and
Yeah.
he goes
I
sprawling.
probably laugh like I just did.
Wow. Okay, that's why I'm asking Luke because I knew your answer.
John, he's like, I know there's no morality.
So
there
I'm
for
a-
Joe.
as a teacher.
So you
of
see
young
this,
kids,
nobody
like, I
else
have
sees it.
Pent up
I'm not
anger
done.
towards kids, so
I'm not done.
I might
You
not
see
be the
it,
most
though.
balanced person to ask.
You see it. She gets her desired result. The kid stops, but like you see like the swelling start. Like that kid's gonna have a bruise or something.
I see
and
the
nobody
swelling
else.
start. That means that was a nice hit.
and it's purple.
She laid the kid like
Yeah.
he hit the ground and then slid on the linoleum for a foot.
What
Like
is she-
got
what is she,
socked.
Is she a
Superwoman?
super?
Jesus.
No, the kid's
she a
like
Magneto?
five. They're a
Like,
small
she
kid.
took an iron
Dude,
off the shelf and whacked him across
Dude,
the face.
you could take a loaf of white bread and like get it going and fucking do the same thing to a 5-year-old. There's no weight.
Yeah,
behind
that's
Oh,
what you
if
could
if
do.
you give me the only weapon, if
like
a
a sack of
5-year-old has a
rice.
sword and I only have white bread, I still win. Because it's a 5-year-old.
I disagree with that at every level.
No, a
Honestly,
5-year-old
Luke-
swinging a sword, I'll be able to predict his
Dude,
stupidity.
my friend has a 5-year-old kid. He would murder you if you gave
I'd
him
put
a
the
Yeah, I'm
bread
not
up
gonna
like
write
this.
you off, Luke.
I
I'm not
fought
saying
that
you're
kid.
gonna win
We had a
or you're gonna
gunfight.
lose.
Yeah, he didn't
like
have a
Nerf,
real sword.
Nerf fight, but
Luke, it definitely
I don't have
depends
gunfights
on
with
the
kids.
5-year-old.
Audience.
Stop talking.
He's got a point. It depends on the 5-year-old, and it depends on the bread. To be honest, there's
aren't
factors
points.
here.
Those are just words.
Same thing. Same.
Anyways, so we wound up winning quick draw.
Right.
Yeah, the people are hanging on. They want to know how can they too win quick draw.
So tell them your wait, no, fuck them. Don't tell them your strategy. That's what wins it for
We're
us,
getting
right?
there. We're getting there, but they have
If
to
you
keep
think-
listening.
Do you think New
including-
York State?
Including they have to listen to
Hold
this
on.
ad. So this episode is reverse sponsored by Bed Bath & Beyond. Please go to bedbathandbeyond.com and
At least-
enter
at
code
least
word
pick
Thunk in the
something
checkout,
that-
and you
Luke,
will have nothing applied to your
Enjoy.
price.
Wait.
Luke, pick
Enjoy
something that
beds.
has a chance of sponsoring us, like Fleshlight or
Wait.
or
What do you mean? You think
a
the Bed
Yingling
Bath & Beyond
or-
like corporate meetings don't talk about the Thunk Tank podcast?
Yeah, there's no way that you would approve any of this. We
I
just
love how
talked
we
about
were-
the
I love how we call it a reverse
half-ass
advertisement.
hypothetical of hitting children in the
Yeah, we're
supermarket.
laughing at child abuse right now.
Well, yeah, and you didn't even answer my question. We just mentioned.
I
it
didn't
and
even let you
posited
finish
child
the
abuse.
question.
Wait, what was the
No.
question?
Was you see that happening and like
What do I do?
a staff? So what do you do? Nothing. There's a
I
follow up.
mean,
There's an addendum.
how
if you
close
say yes
am
or
I?
no.
How far away am I?
You're at the other end of the aisle. You're the only two. who
Am
saw
I
it.
the only
security
person
camera
that saw
doesn't
it?
see it?
Isn't it weird that
Yeah.
that's a consideration? How close in proximity am I to the event?
How old is the
That's
kid?
why, based on your answer, I told you like 5, 6.
So
but
he's
based
not
on your
old enough
answer,
for me to ask him, like, are you okay?
Wait, what
No.
was
In
the
other
kid-
words, if I saw a woman and a man in a couple and the man did something sketchy to the woman, depending on the details and how extreme it was, I might just walk past and be like, are you okay?
But isn't that
you
weird?
know, I saw a video of that, and that's why I'm thinking about this. Where this big Spanish dude, there's like a Waffle House or something, but big burly, like tough-looking guy. He's there with his, smaller, spouse, significant other, lady friend, and she starts yelling at him. because I think he was trying to break up with her, and she starts slapping him in the face and
They're
telling
breaking
him
up at a
he's not
Waffle House?
Luke,
Something
why do you
like
think
that.
they're wailing on each other with
Of course, you've never been to a Waffle House, clearly. But so he, so like she starts hitting him, and everyone in the Waffle House freaks
great.
out, and the staff comes over and goes, "Sir, do you need help?" And he looks at her, and she gives him this look like, "Don't you fucking say anything." And he looks back a few times. He goes, "Yeah, I don't feel safe. Can you keep this woman away from me?" And she loses it and starts threatening to kill him and stuff and swinging at him. But like, but that was a real thing. And that couple walking in, you would have expected that. Like the guy looked like tough.
Wait, so
and
what did the
big, and
staff do?
They helped him. They called the cops on her and they separated.
The weird
them.
thing about your question, Johnny, is that if you see a man hit a woman in public like you described, you can call the police.
Oh, if I saw that, but
and
it was not
say,
a child, yeah.
Oh, hi, there's this man hitting this woman in Walmart, and the police will say, okay, we're on our way. But if you say that, if you call the police and say, oh, there's this woman hitting her child, do you think they would respond?
tougher.
There's a lot more wiggle room there.
Oh yeah, but CPS would get involved, and someone would go to the house a week
legally
later.
you're allowed, but like legally you're not allowed to hit another adult, but legally you're allowed to hit your children.
Actually,
within
I was
reason,
just
right?
looking it up. Washington State has a mutual martial combat law.
I
where
like
both
the way
parties,
this sounds already.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a pioneer
it's
type
something
shit.
like that. I
that's
think
like
I said
your
it
law
right.
in North Carolina when you said that if you were
castle
there
law.
with the sword when the guy came and tried to
That's
steal
not
your
a North
dog.
Carolina thing. That's many states have.
Oh,
it.
really?
Your home is your castle. If people
The castle
invade your
law, yeah.
castle, you have the right to defend it.
I love that law. Like Sharon.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't always work out,
Right, but if you have a sword, it helps.
Because that lady who shot her neighbor by accident was using that reasoning, but she was in the wrong apartment. You heard
Which
that whole
It
story.
kind of complicates that whole
Right, because
argument.
if she had
you're
been
in someone
right,
else's castle.
Right, you went
right,
to
if that
you
guy
invaded
was
their
eating
castle.
ice
Yeah.
cream,
In fact,
that
they
guy
had
was
the
eating-
castle right.
You might have been on drugs, but you still invaded their castle.
well,
but
then
isn't
you
that
would have to
nuts?
plead
That
insanity.
she shot a guy
in the moment, right?
She shot a guy in his apartment. She got 5 years in prison. If he had been doing the same thing, nothing like
I think she got
violent. or
10.
anything- Okay, but if he was eating ice cream in her apartment, like same thing, just watching Netflix, like he got the wrong apartment and was just watching TV.
How do you
in
get
there.
the wrong apartment?
I'm just saying, if that
Same
had happened
murder,
and
no charge.
Same murder,
Yeah.
no charges. Even though he, isn't that kind of
Can we get the legal team on?
By
this,
the way, we're
Thunk
talking
legal
about
team?
that case in Texas where the cop entered into the wrong apartment.
But
and
anyways,
killed
the
that guy.
martial combat law, I think it's mutual martial something law, is if both parties agree and there's no weapons, it has to be unarmed combat, like a fist fight. You can't have a sword fight or a duel with pistols because other
Right.
people get hurt. But if two people agree and there's witnesses and they agree that they're gonna duke it out,
Are you
it's
serious?
technically allowable.
Really?
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
Washington?
yeah. It's like an old frontier law.
So, like,
There's
the
some-
people in
these-
northern,
these state constitutions started as charters out here, and they're written by like a guy or like a group of guys that survived the trip.
Right, that's
so
why
they're
the
a little
Portland
crazier.
mayor is also the police chief.
Yeah, he's the police commissioner, I think, and he
Right.
Better or
appoints
worse.
the
Yeah.
chief.
Right.
Yeah, instead of it being
Wait, so
like an
Johnny,
elected
people
thing.
in Northern Oregon, do they ever go like, I want to meet you across the border tomorrow? 9
I'm on the
PM.
border. Yeah, I
You
live
know?
like right on the border.
Right,
Yeah.
Portland is right there on the river. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that will be
Sure.
a Thunk Tank exclusive for our hardcore fans.
Back to the how do you win the lottery thing.
Oh fuck, where were we with that?
Well,
What were we
okay,
up to?
so
Oh yeah, what's your strategy? Because Luke explained to me his psychotic
I just want to
strategy,
say we
and it totally worked.
it
He
totally
nailed
worked. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I
nailed it.
researched that before I came up with it.
Which is why you're about to become destitute and not have heat in your apartment anymore.
Ah, shit. I forgot to pay that bill.
I was telling Joe this how like hotels
That
are probably the ones publishing blackjack winning books. Oh, here's a system to win blackjack. I
Yeah.
bet you that
Hotspots are a big
casinos
one,
are
yeah.
publishing those because they want you to think that you have a system. Sure,
Yeah.
come in and try your system against our math.
and it
Let's see
and
how
it does
goes.
work
Yeah.
enough to keep the psychological. They know there's different clientele. Some people are just like completely stupid and not noticing any patterns.
Yeah.
And some people are going to get tricked by the smarter version
Well,
of
that's
it.
a big one. Is
At the end of the
people
day,
track where,
it
where
can't be a
they
job.
give out good scratch
It's not
tickets.
poker, by the way. Poker is
not.
different.
Poker is different.
I
I know
picked
people that
blackjack for a
make
reason.
I'm
yeah.
hundreds of thousands of dollars a year playing poker. I know it.
First of all, you don't know people who do that. Second
I
of
know
all,
one person that does that. Actually, I know two people that do that.
I don't believe any of that. But poker,
I don't believe
I
it.
agree with you that poker.
One of
has
them is a conductor.
subjectivity. That's
He's like
the
a very
Ed Norton,
successful
Matt Damon.
conductor, and the other one is just a math genius who like plays the right poker tournaments. And I remember being at a party once, and
But it's still gambling.
he had two laptops, and on each laptop was like 3 different games.
So,
of online
so
poker.
worth
here's the thing about poker.
he
Luke,
made
is because
hundreds of thousands of dollars a year
All right,
off
calm
of that.
down. Calm down. You're not the one
It's
making
just
the
math.
money.
You're playing against people who don't do the math, and he was a math genius, and he just won.
But it's not
Where
a
does that leave us?
guarantee.
It's not
It's
a guarantee.
because if you look, it's the argument for poker versus blackjack is there's no World Series of blackjack because the World Series of poker, at least there were a few years where it was 6 of the or 5 of the 6 or 10 people at the table were the same people every year. But they didn't.
Yeah.
The same person didn't win every year, so it can take you so far. But once
He played-
everyone's
this was
doing
when
the
online
same
poker
math,
was a thing.
but it's like anything.
Well,
Once
there are
you
pro
once
poker
you
players.
once you're working at the same level of math, then luck takes over again.
Oh, of
If
course, of
I'm doing
course.
the
You're
math.
totally
and
right,
you're
Johnny.
not. it's at elite
but it's all
levels. There
po-
is luck involved.
But it's
That's
also
totally
it's also
right.
posturing and knowing the other person in terms of
Well, the psychological
pro-
factors become a
but
thing.
the-
the hood with
each
the
people-
glasses, and they're just like.
yeah they have some
have
people
glasses, but-
pros play like
Because
that. Have
maybe they
hoods
know
and
that their
glasses,
eyes
yeah.
tend to dart around when they're nervous, and they want to
Right.
hide that.
Yep.
What he was doing was playing like higher end online poker. When I was in high school, I played some online poker because I bought a book, and it was like how to just do basic counting when you're playing Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
And I convinced my
3 of a
mom-
kind. It's better than 2 of a kind.
I was in 8th or 9th
Fun
grade,
fact.
and I convinced my mom like, oh, like give me like $30 or whatever it is.
I'll make you
As
millions.
a buy-in, and that's it. Like, I just want to play, like, and I'd have to literally steal your credit card to like get more. And
which I might.
at one point, I had it up to 200 from the 30.
And then what happened?
I lost it all. but I mean, the point is that like I was just beginning and trying to get good at it.
Yeah.
But this friend of mine like would play the higher end games in that online poker, which would be with people like me that thought they were getting better, but
Yeah.
he was like his IQ is like super high, and he could just do like crazy math in his head very quickly.
right.
Like I remember we were at a party once, and he was something like he was like, "Oh, like I just lost $10,000." I'm like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "No, that happens like every other night because I win 30,000 like on the nights that I don't lose."
My life's
10,000.
basically the same thing, but with the stock exchange.
Really.
She plays the stock
Yeah,
market?
pretty much.
You guys play the stock market?
Here's to feeling good all the time, though, guy.
He's gonna do the Kramer burp. Let's see if he got it.
Yeah.
If he got it.
That's not bad.
No, you have to burp the smoke out. Isn't that the Kramer move?
I tried. It really hurt.
We'll try it next episode.
So I made
explain how you-
myself a rule.
Explain how you win quick draw for the
Well,
people.
one of the things I
'Cause
love
you
about
nailed it.
playing quick draw is it's impossible to get addicted to it.
That's not true. By definition, that's totally not true.
So
It's like those American Spirit cigarettes. They say additive free on it, but they really mean addictive free. They just want to let them put that C in it, but it's addictive free.
Joe, would you agree?
Fair enough.
Would you agree that like I've been going to bars forever, and I've always realized there's some lottery thing going on there, but I never understood what was happening or how it
I
worked.
literally didn't understand quick draw until that night, a week
Okay,
ago.
so my dad
At all. Because I'm like, I don't want to get involved in this.
my dad and my mom took us out for dinner, me and my fiance, for my fiance's birthday. And my dad grabbed 2 of those quick draw things, and he was like, your brother plays these all the time, and he wins a lot. So I was like, all right, like, he's like, yeah, here, you pick some numbers. And he had a $10 bill. He's like, this one's on me. And we won $2. And I thought, okay, we just lost $8. Like, I bet.
No. You won 2.
I bet this is a sucker thing. And the bartender that cashed it in, I remember she said, like, she's like, yeah, I know, like, you technically lost money, but doesn't it feel like you won something? And I'm like, yeah, kind of, because, like, it wasn't my $10.
Right, that's what they're
I
selling.
literally
you on,
did win $2, but
Well, that's why scratch offs are a good birthday card gift for somebody.
Yeah.
I win those
that's
a lot.
gimmick. I know.
Yeah, not a lot.
I know rich people who used to do that. They would send as many scratch offs as years you were born. So for the older crowd,
interesting.
it was a country club guy I knew And so, like, his friend turned 60. He didn't send him 60 single dollar scratch offs. It's like, you could have bought a decent gift for $60, but like, what? You're going to get him a bottle of wine he doesn't like?
Or a Red
something
Lobster
for
gift
that?
card, and he'll choke
Or,
on
yeah, some gift card
crab.
he's never going to use and is going to sit in a drawer. And it's like, hey,
Yeah.
here's
Yeah.
immediate instant gratification. And anything
Little
you
bit of
win on
rush.
it is just extra for you. So you win $20
Yeah.
on $60 of gift cards. You're like, hey, I got $20. But if I just threw a $20 bill in a card and said happy birthday, you'd be like, all right. Like,
I think gambling
we're
as a
both
gift,
millionaires. Why are you giving me $20?
Yeah, the true
But-
reward is the rush for most people in practicality.
I have
because
to
most
say
people
I
aren't
don't get
winning
I don't
much.
get a reward off of. Well, I'm trying to understand my own psychology.
I don't get a reward
So
reward off the rush. I want money.
Well,
here's
when I
my-
won, do you remember? Like I was looking at the screen.
Yeah.
Joe and I were joking. We were like, "Oh, let's not even like bother looking at the TV screen. Let's
Yeah.
just like keep talking at the bar,
We
and
kept
we'll
looking.
scan them
We
later."
kept watching. And
But like our eyes kept darting.
yeah, and we said
And I
we gotta
remember
stop
as a
doing that
joke, I was like trying to explain to Joe. Joe still didn't understand how the game worked.
at all.
So I was like explaining it to him, and then I'm like, so you get one number, and then like the 5 came up, and then the 10 came up, and then I had like a 27. No, I had a 2, 5, 10, 27, and 75.
Oh, God, how do you know that?
These are
I
such
memorized it.
details.
You're
that
such
I
a
don't care
psycho.
about.
And and as I'm explaining it to Joe, I was like, Joe, I just won $300. Like this ticket just won $300. He's like, ha 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 ha.
I said, ha,
And
ha,
that's
ha,
when the
we
voice
won.
came on in my head where I could be like, no, I'm just fucking with you, and then cash it in tomorrow.
Right? Yeah.
You know? And then I thought, no, that would be bad. You would have trouble sleeping tonight, and you need to get a good sleep tonight. It was about me still.
So, yeah, I was about to say,
at
you're
the
very
end of the night.
selfish.
Yeah, there is no altruism. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, you're very selfish in your morality, Luke.
No, I mean, yes
But-
and no. I think I'm God, so
But that's the moral.
But I mean, this
principle
is why
no
we build
morality is truly
societies with the sense of
selfless.
morality, because you
Yeah.
can't trust people to have a natural one. So psychos like Luke, who can memorize things but don't feel, we need to program them with that idea that it's bad. You'll feel bad if you do this.
Yeah, it's like a Dennis Reynolds type thing. I'm just trying
Yeah,
to
it's
feel.
a trained.
That's not me,
It's
that's
a
not
trained
me.
response, but we got the response.
I'm
That's
just
what's
happy
important.
enough.
No, I agree with. I
I'm
agree
happy
with
enough
you,
to be
though.
honest that voice exists in my head, but it was never. It was not like
But
it was
that-
a competition
that
like
voice
it almost
comes-
won.
That
it
voice
was
comes
like
up,
a
and some people
10% voice.
They go with it. They say, you know what?
Yeah, I know that. I know that's true, but like for me, I'm saying like it's a when I think what those voices exist in everyone's head, and if you ignore
Yeah.
it, it finds a way to like integrate itself into other areas of
I
your
think
mind, and it becomes stronger.
It's a good voice to have because you want to have that conversation with yourself, right?
You want to know that part of
As
you
you
that
said.
that says, you know what's better than $150? 300.
Yeah,
And Joe can go fuck himself.
yeah. Fuck that
So
guy.
hold on,
Fuck
a
that
couple of
guy.
things here. A
What?
couple of things. You're talking about the rush, right? You're saying it's the rush of winning the $2.
No, it's the
You
rush
have
of
to
winning
have
$300.
The $2 can go fuck
no,
itself.
Yeah,
you-
exactly. The $2 was just bonus.
I was talking about
Luke also
Oh,
took
the original one.
Luke
yeah.
also took the $2.
Right. No, I'm trying to explain what the bartender was,
Yeah,
was
Luke
trying
got the
to
tip.
trying to illustrate is it's the rush of winning. She doesn't mean that you won $2. She means that when you win those $2, it reminds you of that one time you won 300, and that's the dragon you're
And
chasing.
it reminds
point.
you of the possibility of winning big in the future.
Right, and that's why it's a big bar
Yeah.
game, because if you drink in a bar long enough, even if you don't play quick draw, you're gonna see somebody win a few $100. And
Yeah.
maybe they buy a round for the table. I had a
that
friend
literally
who told me he
happened
did
to us
that.
at
like-
that bar a couple months earlier. This guy,
Right.
The night of my engagement,
Yeah, he won, and the bartender said, "Oh, this guy
he bought
down the
everyone
bar
shots.
won quick draw." He's
Right.
To be
buying
fair,
everyone
though, there
shots."
were only like 8 people at the bar, and when
Yeah,
we
yeah,
won
but you don't even-
$300, there were
but-
like
Yeah, but we didn't buy
70 people at
but
the
Luke,
bar.
Yeah, but we still didn't buy people dick.
well, the
No,
bartender.
it's not
sucked. I
about
didn't
that.
even
It's
tip him.
it's the lotto
Yeah,
doesn't
I mean, I
care
tipped
about.
him, but
Yeah, I
like
didn't
normal.
like that. I didn't like that guy. I asked for a gin and tonic, and he pulled out the shit gin from underneath the counter. He didn't even ask me what gin I wanted, and then he charged me $11. And I said, "Okay, you're getting $1 tip. Fuck this guy."
And
He
then
tried to give you the well
Oh,
gin
and
and
Johnny,
then
by
charge
the
you
way,
top
when-
shelf price.
Yeah.
When
so
we-
I gave him
Yeah,
a
it's a
dollar
shitty
tip.
bartender
Fuck
move.
him.
when
Yeah.
we won the thing, I was like, "Oh, should I cash this in here because like it's pretty crowded and whatnot?" and I was like, oh, the guy will probably be subtle. Like if it's a $302, like
No, they ring
he
the
was
bell
like,
and everything.
oh,
yeah,
man,
definitely.
you won, and he puts down 100. Then he's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 200.
Everybody,
1, 2,
check this
3,
out.
4, 5,
Yeah.
300. And then he's like, and a 1, and a 2, and he hands
And
it to
3,
me.
4. This guy won. He's number 1.
Yeah, no.
And I was like,
that's
Joe, let's
part
get the
of-
fuck out of here.
Yeah, I was like,
so,
this guy's
so
on
two
crack.
things there.
This is awesome.
Joe, part of the reason that bartender's probably doing that to you is if it's a quick draw bar, think about the gambling addicts who come in
true.
and will buy a drink just to be allowed to stay and spend all of their free money on gambling and never tip the bartender.
Yeah.
So this person
Yeah.
is serving people and watching hundreds of dollars go to the state government for whatever bullshit lotto money goes to. And then they have to serve and deal with this asshole and have them talk at them for literally nothing above their hourly, which is less than minimum
There's-
wage.
yeah,
So
but
they're
if
going
he
to
was-
take advantage of you when that person wins and finally buys around. They're ringing up the most They're ringing up Tanqueray and giving you Fleischmann's.
It's common
but
to
if he
tip
was-
the bartender. It's also
No.
common to buy around, but that
if
has
he-
to be within
If he was
reason.
cool, if he was cool and gave me, asked me what gin I wanted instead of giving me shitty gin and charging me top shelf price, I would have tipped him more.
He also asked me for my name 3 times. Like,
He asked me for your name twice when you were closing out.
he
kept-
asked you for my name?
Yeah,
Why?
He because he couldn't hear you, and he kept saying Luke, and I said, yeah, his name's Luke. Why are you asking me? I
Yeah.
was just as confused as you were. I don't know why it was so complicated. I just didn't like his hat.
I just didn't like him.
Well, yeah, it didn't help.
Also, the way he handed me the money was like, I expect you to like throw a 20 my way. It's like, first off, I
that's what I
understand
mean.
that tradition,
yeah,
but
no.
you literally did nothing to aid
No,
me
Luke,
in-
you're ignorant because you're not part of
I
this
disagree.
culture. These people run tabs. They don't pay for drinks. They go through because they're gamblers. They go through spots where they don't have money for tips,
like Frank
or,
from
or
Shameless.
drinks, let
I-
alone tips.
I
so
totally
when they're
disagree, Johnny.
that's a gambling thing. When you are flush, that's another reason they have no money. You got to pay out then, and then that person puts up with you because they know. When you, so that's
when
part
they
of
win
it.
big,
the
they,
tips
they
aren't
settle their
steady.
debt. You're saying?
Yeah, if you're at a video lottery bar,
Fuck
it
that.
sucks. It's for a bartender, it's way more work. It's like doing food service, but you don't get tipped on it.
yeah, but that's not what that bar is.
Don't
That's
have
not what
money
that
for
bar
tips.
is, dude. It's a regular.
Yeah, but this
bar
is a
and they
regular
just
bar
happen to have
with
quick
one
draw.
quick draw like TV.
Well, he doesn't know that. You're an asshole who comes into a
works there, he
bar and
knows
does
that.
the quick draw
We've
on
been
the
in
corner,
before,
so he
and we've
assumes
tipped
you're a
normal.
quick draw guy.
No, he's just
Well,
a shitty
maybe
bartender.
I've actually never seen
okay,
that
maybe he
bartender
sucks,
before.
but
Yeah, he was awful.
So what? I know my brother my twin brother plays this game
There's
a lot.
other bartenders there who are cool. I would have tipped them $20.
According to him and his fiance, they actually are quite in the green part of profit for that.
That's just what they want you
it's
to
black, not green.
Whatever the good
It's
thing
black.
is.
You've
Like,
never had
they generally
a
make
ledger
money
book,
and
clearly,
like
but-
regularly like I'm talking to my mom and they're like, oh, like, and she'll say something like, oh, your brother just won like $500 at the bar just like chilling.
think. Yeah, but how many hundreds is he losing? Is the question.
I think they're probably up less money than the winning reports would seem to indicate.
That's a really confusing sentence.
Their winning report seems. I only hear about the time they win $500. Right?
That's my point.
and
How often
I
are
don't
they
hear
losing
about like the
$500?
Sunday where they spent $35 and didn't win, and the following Sunday where they
So
spent $35.
it depends on
or
what
the
kind
one
of
day where
habit
they
it is,
spend
though.
$100.
I don't know how it works, but I think they're
But
they're
isn't it
definitely
isn't it
more.
I'm telling
kind
you
of the
how it works.
same?
They're
It
losing
depends
hundreds of
on.
dollars.
I don't think they're in the loss. I think right now they're in the green. I think they're smart enough to realize that.
The black. It's not
Okay.
green. It's black.
What are the colors? Money is green.
It's black and red. I repeat. I corrected you already. It's black. Is
Why
good.
are those colors?
It is pretty rudimentary, Luke, because that's
Because
when it
all
shows up
ink
on the
used to be
graph.
black,
Have
pretty
you ever
much.
seen
And
him?
when
No,
you're-
he's never had a job. He doesn't know what a money graph looks like.
I was listening to
No.
the airline
You're right.
episode, which theoretically came out before this episode because I'm going to post it soon.
We did an airline episode.
Yeah, and I kept
Oh, yeah,
saying
you fat
stuff,
shamed
and
the
you
whole
guys
time.
kept going, Luke, you need to get a job. Why do you what? Like
Yeah.
you're sitting on a park bench thinking about this in the middle of the day?
Yeah, on a Tuesday
yeah,
afternoon.
go pick
at
up
like
a
2
shift somewhere. Yeah.
Go pick up a shift, exactly.
Yeah, pick
You
up
don't
a
need a.
shift.
We're not telling you to get a career. Just find something to fill the day with. Make a little
Thank you.
sense.
Hiring, by the way. If you
Although
would like to apply,
Yeah, apply at thunktankpodcast.com/apply.
start
We're hiring?
start by
don't know, should
subscribing
we?
on Patreon. No, just get them to sign
I
up.
mean,
for
I need a
Patreon.
job.
It's a Ponzi scheme, you idiot.
Can I get?
Pay
Oh,
attention.
okay. I was gonna say
Pyramid
I'll
scheme.
apply.
Yeah.
I need a job right now.
You can get a job at Thunk Tank. I'll hire you, bro.
Am I qualified? Have I?
Yeah, I
enough?
wrote your resume for
The
you.
Thunk
so yeah.
qualifications are
That's
different
right.
than a lot of jobs you would think about.
We are pretty qualified. I'm a writing professor. You're a professional
the
musician.
listeners hanging on, they're wondering, how do you actually win, though, right?
Say your numbers thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Luke has a number system.
You want to mix even.
Johnny shakes his head.
The best in
It's
the
not
quick,
how random number generation works.
You just don't understand quick draw.
you have to do some research, though, because people have.
Oh, that's it.
You have to do some research
ahead.
on randomness, Johnny. Come on.
No, because
Right. Yeah.
people have.
I'll go throw pickles at a wall for
Johnny, all I know is that this is what he told me, and I looked at him and said to his mouth, "You're a fucking idiot," and then we won.
Let me tell you this,
like
Johnny.
not his face or his ears.
Yeah, I
you said
just
it to his
spat
mouth.
into his mouth. You're an
Trying
idiot.
to cancel out his mouth noises.
Let
Go
me tell
ahead,
you
Luke.
this. If you chose 70, 71, 72, 73, 74,
You're an idiot.
you're an idiot and you will not win.
That's a good point.
That combination has
Right.
never come up.
That's a
Yes, it
really good,
does.
that's a really good point.
Those
Technically, it comes up just as often as the random string.
No, you're
number.
saying
Well,
theoretically
technically-
it comes up. Technically, it hasn't.
Technically, eat shit and die, Johnny. Listen to our
Technically doesn't
formula.
mean anything. Technically has become like the word literal because people just say technical
people
when
say-
they don't have
I
any
literally-
I
technical knowledge
literally
of anything.
disagree with your technical answer.
Technically, I'm Amish, so I don't know anything about technology. I shouldn't use that
So the-
word.
the-
No,
right?
technically you're
What?
Amish, so you literally know nothing about technology.
The patterns that
Right.
emerge.
Even though I have a cell phone.
Yeah, and a satellite dish on your car. Because that's a
Yeah.
loophole.
I know there
Somehow
is
that
like
Yeah, fuck
a
them.
problem with
Sorry, Amish
a
listeners.
computer's
A
ability.
pneumatic
How many Amish
fucking.
listeners do we have?
At least one.
Yeah, I got a steam-powered Ford Ranger. Fuck
got
you.
an
I
email
can drive
from
it
one
on
the other day.
Sundays. or-
Yo, if you're an Amish,
They were saying like, hey, like I go into town and like use
Yo,
my secret smartphone to like
if you're
listen to you guys.
if you're one of our
That's
Amish
actually really
listeners,
cool.
tweet at us, and Luke will wear an Amish costume on the next podcast.
Oh, we'll have them on the cast. We'll make distort their voice if they want their identity.
yeah, they can
protected.
Skype in
let's do an Amish.
We'll promote
episode.
their
from
brand
the
if they want to
Amish
do
village,
stand-up or
Skype,
something.
internet cafe.
I just want to interview an Amish person.
Yeah, they go into like Harrisburg or some
Oh,
shit.
you know, I almost stayed at an Amish farm this past August.
I thought you did.
No, I stayed at a farm for like the concert festival I was playing at, but
Yeah,
on the way back,
still not a job.
I know, yeah,
No.
it's true. I mean, everybody who asks like, "How do you survive?" The answer is barely.
Yeah, you got a little bit of Kramer in you.
I know, but I'm happy with that. Like, I'm okay with it.
Oh no, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining for me.
I'm okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it shows. Yeah,
It totally
You got
works
beer
for
fun to
me.
money,
watch.
you're
Yeah.
paying your rent. What more do you really need, Luke?
I don't care. If
I
you
haven't
want
paid
money
my
to
rent
buy
yet.
stuff?
so
Yeah,
You know what
it's the
comes with
third.
Again, it doesn't affect me. You know.
I'm gonna pay
know
it
what
by
comes
the
with
10th.
stuff,
you can
Luke?
guarantee you can guarantee yourself that.
There's a whole bunch
You're
of
getting
bullshit.
A
when-
little 17 there.
I'll pay
The
by
more
the
stuff you
17th.
get. Oh no.
I have till the 17th.
All right, give me your bullshit numbers theory.
All right, so
Your
Um,
numerology nonsense or whatever.
it's unknown exactly how these numbers get drawn. The idea is theoretically
They're calculating with what you enter. There's a pool of numbers. They're not giving out more than they're getting.
I don't know if that's true, and I
It's
think
definitely
if that
true.
were true, that would be extra dark. But
It's very true and it's very dark.
basically,
sure.
after my dad was telling me how much my brother wins, and we played those few times, I remember one day just researching it for like 10, 20 minutes, and there were a bunch of graphs people make where they sort of like graph each number and the probability that it came up over these 1,000 games. Because all these games are online. So let's say you bought a ticket at a bar and just left.
Well, wait.
Like,
we're
you're
talking.
fine.
We're
You
talking
can-
about quick
You
draw
can go,
or like.
yeah, you can go
yeah.
on to New York State Quick Draw or whatever state you're in and
Yeah.
put in the ticket number that you have. Often you buy a range of games like from 2212670 to
Those are numbers.
2212675.
What are you talking about? What are those?
The
numbers?
range of games that you're playing because the games
Okay.
constantly go.
Oh yeah, this is game
I
number.
think they go like
1126.
23 hours a day.
Yeah.
you know?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, every 2.5 minutes.
The
or whatever,
drawing
3
number,
minutes
yeah.
is a game.
So you have to buy it somewhere,
Right.
but you don't have to like worry about cashing it in at the same place you bought
right.
it.
You can cash it
That
in
game is
wherever,
not
yeah.
local to the bar. That's
Right.
a New York State.
It's
game.
local to New York State.
If you go
essentially,
onto the
right.
Quick Draw
makes
website, you
sense.
can look up your numbers and find out if you won.
Right. Right.
And for example, I found a $2 winner in my wallet, and I thought, oh, cool, let me hang on to this. And then, like when I was at a store that had a Quick Draw, I scanned it and it said already cashed. I was like, oh, I drunkenly cashed that, and then like they let me keep the ticket for some reason. You know, like
That's really sketchy.
what do you mean?
Why would you keep the ticket?
Well, it
They
doesn't
don't
matter.
want
The scanner, all like you can't like win again. Like it's all.
Yeah, so they
Also,
don't
the
care
fact
if
that
you
you're
take it.
drunkenly cashing in lottery tickets is pretty entertaining.
That was the $2 winner at my fiance's birthday thing. I had
Ah,
like
I
4
see.
beers,
All right, that checks out, actually.
and I smoked a lot of weed before it, but like,
I mean, get at him.
that's a me thing.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
allegedly. This is a
anyways-
comedy podcast. None of what we're saying
Of
is
course.
true.
We're all in character.
Yeah, this is all made up.
So I looked up this thing, and it turned out that in the numbers from 1 to 10, they come up far more frequently than they would randomly. So they say it's recommended that like if you're doing the 5 pick, 3 of your numbers should be in that 1 to 10 range, and you should mix up even and odd between the 5 numbers, either 3 even, 2 odd,
Wait,
or
wait,
3
wait.
odd, 2 even.
Who's they?
This website?
Okay, continue. That's all I needed to know.
it's drawing a conclusion on that it's using some type of random number generation algorithm, like a Raymond zeta function or something.
That
so
sounds
it
fancy.
might not even be true random. It might be like a pseudo random
Exactly,
thing.
exactly.
So that
Or
it's-
on top of
it-
that pseudo random, it might be extra. Like Joe was saying, it might be extra, like rigged to
It calculates all the numbers that have been entered, and it balances
That's what I was
among
just
those,
about
yeah.
to.
In other
ask.
words,
Yeah,
it knows
yeah.
like people tend to choose birthdays, and they tend to choose
it does
their.
a frequency count. So more
Yes,
common birthdays
exactly.
are numbers it'll avoid. So if that's information you could find out that
Yeah.
you know they're accounting for, you could theoretically use that to try to
Oh,
game
totally.
the system.
Yeah,
And
totally.
if you get enough of those variables compiled, it could make it winning in your favor. So it's worth investing.
But
in.
they know that could be a factor.
So
in
they're
this
changing
decision.
it up
So
constantly.
they're
too.
not doing that often enough. I guarantee you, if you don't think that they're calculating everything that we're saying, you're
Once again,
Right
like
now?
everything cool
yeah.
in human history,
We're
it
not
comes
even
down
on
to
the internet right now. It will be on
Oh,
the internet,
they-
but like right now, it's not. Like if we
Oh, they
hit stop
hear?
on the recording's
Dude,
on my hard drive,
your phone.
and then
Your phone is recording all of this
well,
right
that
now,
yeah.
and it's already transmitting it to whoever is buying that information to sell
I've had
you
such
ads.
Johnny. What's the
I love
sketchiest?
Bed Bath and Beyond.
What's the
Beds,
sketchiest
baths,
story you've
and
had?
beyond? Like, share, and subscribe. We're
Well,
gonna
they're
get
a sponsor, so it makes sense that they would.
I guarantee you
What-
on your
what-
Facebook you start getting ads for beds in the next 24
Johnny,
hours.
what's the sketchiest
Guarantee
thing
you.
that's happened to you where you go, oh my god, these cookies are really tracking me, or my phone is really listening to me, or whatever?
Oh, I tested it with a friend who didn't have a driver's license. He's telling me about this. He's like, yeah, I don't have a driver's license, but they wanted to test it. So they set up, like, I think it was an Alexa or an Echo, one of those things that says they're not recording
Fuck
in
that.
your home.
No, it turned out
You-
they were. Yeah.
Of course. And this was before that came out, and we were like, it definitely is. But we set that thing up, and we started talking about cars. We mentioned a bunch of car brands like Acura and Kia. We mentioned, like, the dealerships in the borough of New York City that they were living in.
Yeah.
And then we said it a bunch, and then for over the course of several hours, we just set alarms on our phone, and every time it went off, we would just mention a car brand, like in conversation. Be like, oh yeah, Acuras are great. Anyways, and just keep going. And then after 3 or 4 hours, we unplugged it, so it had no other input but that. And he said within a day or two, anyone on his Wi-Fi network was getting car commercials
Damn.
for dealerships.
And that's the
in
thing. It's
area.
on the Wi-Fi network, or it's a connected person. Like the way
Yeah.
that they form the connections between people. So Joe,
Didn't you say that with?
I have an iPhone, you have an Android, right?
Yeah.
But we both have allowed our location to be
Yes.
used by the app, and in the fine print of that, it probably uses that for other marketing purposes.
Yeah. But was
So the fact that we're close together means that something I'm interested in,
yeah.
they're pretty sure you'll maybe be interested in it too, and it's going into the equation of will you get that ad too?
But didn't they do that with your fiance when you were looking up rings?
Yeah, Johnny, I don't know if
she
I
got-
told you
She
this.
got fucking ads
So
miles and miles away.
Well, it depends on what the information is, because certain industries, like a ring, like jewelry, it's so much markup that they're actively searching people out. It's a very competitive thing. Whereas certain other car dealers, like certain things are searching out. Whereas
cars
other
are that.
things,
Yeah.
it's
Cars are
about
similar to
if people
jewelry.
are willing to buy that data. And yeah, I assume for ring shopping, that's a cookie that they track online.
And
'Cause people, that's
and
the thing you
cookie
Google
is not
before you
even
start buying.
it's not intelligent enough to know that I already got engaged because I'm still getting them all the time,
Yeah.
especially on certain apps. So like a lot of apps will be free, and then if you do the paid version, it gets rid of the ads.
Right.
in those kind of apps. So like a couple of weather apps that I use, and maybe like a chess app that I use, has an ad banner on the bottom, and it still is saying like brilliantdiamonds like .com or whatever.
Right.
And I went to that website once because I Googled like I was researching different gemstones, and that website came up. And I also went to that website to print out a ring sizer thing, so I could print out a piece of paper and wrap it around her finger while I got her really drunk, and wrapped it around her finger.
Bad.
That doesn't sound good.
Luke got her blackout wasted, and then
She got
ring
herself
sized.
blackout
and then molested
wasted.
her hands. That's weird.
But the funny
That's
part
so
was
weird.
I also got blacked out wasted or browned out wasted, and I fell asleep without measuring her finger. And then I remember woke up.
Genied himself.
I woke up at 6 a.m. and I thought to myself, okay, she's still passed out. Like, let me get the measure thing. And like as I was doing
Not a
it,
good
she
sentence.
woke up, and I just like ripped the paper off. And I remember the number I saw as I was ripping it off was like 6.
This is
So-
such a thunky version of that.
I told my friend like, oh, like because he had a gemstone connection, and
Luke has a gemstone guy.
he was sizing
Yeah,
the
you
ring.
gotta
I
have a
told him
gem
like
guy,
size it
yeah.
at 6. He's like, that seems big. I'm like, well, the best guess I got is 6. I'd rather it be big than too small. And it turned out
Always rather
it
be big than too
was
small.
indeed big. It
What-
turns
what-
out me hung over at like 6 a.m.
Wait, so what was the actual size?
5.
Oh, you were so close.
5? Really? My wife's a 73. How is yours a 5?
No,
kidding.
7.3. You mean? Oh,
No, she doesn't. I don't know what her ring is. She
Oh.
bought it. I just told her to do it. I didn't buy
Johnny
it.
says,
for her.
I don't know how big
I
my
just
wife's
told
ring
her
is.
to do
She
it.
bought it. I told her to
I
do
didn't
it.
buy it.
That was
I
such
told
a
you
funny
that
story
story.
because I remember it was
Oh.
either a week or a few days before, and you guys realized that you didn't have a ring for the wedding. You didn't have an engagement ring nor a wedding ring for the wedding.
Nah.
So you went just downtown the day or
to the
week
local
before,
hippie, crunchy, patchouli smelling
and
jewelry
bought
store.
I don't know, a $20 ring or something like that.
So to be fair, I was a gentleman about it. I said, "You pick any ring you want, anything you want." And she said, "Okay, I want to go to this store." And I did, without even looking at it, I said, "Okay, we'll go to that store." And then we went because any of these places know, like, yeah, we're hosing you, so we'll set up a payment plan. You can be broke, you can
Right,
still
right.
buy it.
Right.
So I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Like, I don't actually need the money. Like, whatever. But, I was much more relaxed. I mean, I am still pretty. Anyways, and
that
so we
CBD.
went, and she was like, looked at a bunch of different ones, and then she's like, "I like this one because it's got some green stones in it, some type of green stone. I don't
probably
know.
emerald.
Sure." And they had a few of
BrilliantEarth.com.
them. They were all
Lots of
handmade, but they had
Sharon
like
and
2 or
vibe.
3 with different patterns. And I was like, "Yeah, we'll get that." And the lady's like, "Okay." I was like, "Oh, I'll buy it." And she said, "Okay, it's $32.20." I think it was. And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Do you take a credit card?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "That's a lot, $3,200 for this ring without like a big. It didn't have like a big central stone. There were just a few embedded around it, you know." And I was like, "All right, but $3,000, that's actually really cheap." I know guys who spend $10,000 on wedding rings, $20,000 on an engagement ring, and that's
Yeah.
before you start paying for the wedding. So I was like, "All right, she's pretty great. I'll spend $3,000." And then she's like, "Sign the debit slip," and it's $32.20. And I was like, "Oh, really?" And she's
Wait,
like,
how did
"Yeah,
the
it was
lady
made
say
by
it
a
to you?
local
Like,
artist."
She said it was 32.20,
Yeah, and I just assumed.
and you assumed that meant 3,220.
because when you go to the
Yeah,
high-end
right.
jewelers, they don't say it's $29.99, $99.99.
Yeah,
They
but
just leave
you
the
were
cents off.
next to the hookah shop down Port.
Of course. So I assumed it was that, and I went, "Oh, really?" And I said to Kara, I turned to her and I was like, "You can get like 2 or 3 more if you want. Like, I'll spend like $150 here and still feel like I saved a lot." I was like,
Yeah.
"You can get a bunch." She's like, "No, I didn't really
In
like
a sense,
the other
you
ones.
could
I
say
like
you
this
won the
one."
lottery.
Do you know what you should have done?
Right.
You should have taken the other like $2,970 and spent it on Quick Draw at the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
She
Doing
actually, I
my
think she got
method.
her hand caught
Yeah.
in something like a car door or something, and it
I
bent the
guarantee-
rings.
Much more reasonable.
No,
I
no, like the
guarantee you
ring.
if
She
you
she
play-
got it. She got it caught in something, but the ring like protected her finger, and like one of the stones popped out, so she doesn't even wear it anymore. It sits in a drawer. So I
Hey,
spent $30
that's
on a
just-
ring,
that's
and it only
just
lasted
Jesus at
like
work,
4
Johnny.
years. But yeah, that was my wedding ring story. So I ended up spending $1,000 or like $2,000 on craft beer for the wedding instead of spending any money.
There
on
was
the
good
Right on.
craft beer at that wedding.
I
It was
had
great
a good time
beer.
at
that
that
was
wedding.
that
You know
was
what
a
the hard-
gamble, folks, that paid off.
The hardest part of Johnny's wedding was when it ended. I thought, God damn it! I gotta wait around for a few hours before I drive home.
Oh, I passed out. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
make it home.
I
was
had my
bartending at
venue
one
walking
point.
distance. I had my venue walking. Well, it was in a barn. It was my father-in-law built the bar, so it's not like we had to.
No, but
get
the
it,
bartenders left,
get
so-
the owners to agree to it.
So
It wasn't like
I
a
looked
real
at our
bar.
friend and I was like, "Do you want to waste it, blackout bartend?"
It was a great bar. It was awesome. But yeah, we purposely picked that venue because it was stumbling distance to where we were sleeping that night.
Yeah, that was the night.
There was a
night.
lot of stumbling
Anyways.
going on that
There was
night.
a lot of stumbling.
So, yeah, if you pick numbers that are like, let's say
Because
3
it's
numbers.
pseudo random. It's not truly random because they want to
That's-
make money
we
on
live
it,
in a
so they'll
simulation,
adjust
so none
it in
of it
their
is really
favor.
random.
But as soon as it's not truly
Throwing
random,
that-
it makes
that
it
soft
gameable,
hardball out
right?
there. What?
Even though if the pseudo randomness is in the favor of them being able to game it in, we're going to avoid certain numbers that people might guess so that the state can make more because they want to pay out as little as possible
Right.
to make the most money.
Well, they want to pay out
But
as
they
little as
also
possible
wanna-
to get you to keep.
They also
playing.
want to make
Right.
people
Yeah.
win enough.
So that
they
might
keep
mean
playing.
that might mean that
Yeah.
level of that earning, that profit margin is a fluctuating thing that they use. Who knows how complicated
Yeah.
that gets? But
It's
as soon as it's
complicated.
not pseudo random and you're trying to maximize it, it means it is gameable and you can hack it. It's hackable. And if you can figure out how they're doing
You can
it,
think you do that, yeah.
But not consistently hackable. But there are strategies that you can do to make yourself most likely to have a net.
I got
What do you call it? In the brown?
in the black. Jesus
In the black?
Christ. I was very skeptical of Luke's system just because Luke's a psycho, but
Joe was so skeptical,
I
and
was
then
so
the first
skeptical.
time he played with me, he won $300. Like,
well, I won 150.
he was part of the winning of $300.
But
that's how
yeah, I'm
Ponzi
like-
schemes
Specifically
work. They
50%.
pay out-
like, you promised 300, yeah. No, but it made
Pay out
sense
early,
once
not
they
often.
started calling the numbers. I realized that he's onto something because if you look at it, because I'm starting to think,
Wait,
dude,
but
we live
you
in a
watched 5
simulation. It's
games.
so
Don't
true.
you agree that like more numbers were scattered
Yeah,
in the
it's
1
not
to
gonna,
20
it's
range?
not going to be in the top left corner and the top right corner. The however many numbers
Well,
are
the
chosen. They're not gonna
probability
be
of that
clumped
is
there.
quite low.
The probability of that is never. It's never going to happen.
I've never seen a
Guarantee you.
1
Guarantee
come
you it's
up
never gonna happen.
consistently. It comes up once in a while.
3 is a much better number
2
to
and
pick than
4
1.
come up
Hold-
all the
hold on.
time.
Yeah.
Hold on, all the time. Do you hear
All
him say that?
the time.
What was the game number? What was your game number? Was it something
Johnny's
like
gonna fact check it.
104793?
Yeah.
They do hundreds of thousands of games in a year.
I know, but I'm
And
only at the
it's
bar
just-
once in a while.
Right,
Well,
it's
at
the
least
2
once a
dozen
week
you
or
see.
more.
So you're drawing a trend and building a system. I'm sorry, Luke. I really thought you were gonna have more than just that. Than the gambler who's like, well, based on what I've seen, this is the best numbers because it's changing, and the fact that it's and
Why would you
frequency
think
doesn't.
that?
Frequency doesn't work because the fact that you've seen it a bunch means those numbers are less likely in the future. Even
Well,
if the
No,
algorithm
that's
is
not
set
true.
up.
No,
No, I'm saying even if the algorithm is set up, like you said, they've gamed it against you so that those numbers will show up together. It'll linger in your memory more, and you're gonna you're gonna overplay those numbers after the trend ends. And
Here's
that's
the
only
idea.
reason they would have that trend.
or one idea. If I say I have a jar and there are 10 red marbles and 10 black marbles, to use your like fancy financial language,
Jesus.
My accountant talk.
right?
Yeah.
What is the probability that you would pick a red marble? Tell me.
What, 1 in 20?
No.
Wait, how many
It's
marbles
10 and
are-
20, 50%.
How many
But
marbles are in
also
the
1 in
box?
20.
Not 1 in 20. It's because like 10 of them are red.
If I pick them 20 times,
No, you pick it once. What's the probability of getting red? It's
I'm messing with
50%,
you.
right?
it's 50%. Yeah.
But if I say we're going to play that game 10 times in a row, right? Each time is a reset of that. It's not like you get rid of that red marble.
Right, so you still have a 50% chance.
Now let's make it there are 15 black marbles and 5 red marbles.
It's like
The probability of getting a red marble is now 5 out of 20.
no, not true. It's
AKA
still
1/4.
It's still
But see,
1
Luke,
and
what
2,
you're doing
because you can
is
either get a
you've
red
picked-
marble or a black marble. It's still 50%.
It's not 1 and 2 though, because
is.
there are 15 black marbles.
There are
in
only
there.
2 options.
no,
Unless it's
but
a
look,
game
in the-
system, and that's not really what's going
In
on.
the
But there's
terms of
only
quick
2
draw,
options.
though-
You either get a red marble or
Yeah.
a black marble. It's 50-50.
No,
No, not just.
that's just it.
Before you
You're just
troll
not
that, Joe.
understanding probability.
What are you
No, no,
talking
no,
about?
before that,
How
I
many
haven't
numbers?
heard-
Count them, Luke.
Oh my god.
Joe, I have a
I
better
love how
troll.
long it takes Luke to realize I'm trolling him.
You've pulled 7 black marbles out, right? You can see there's another, 8 marbles in there, and there's only 5 reds. So you know your probability. I should keep assuming if I'm betting, I can see the jar. I can see that
No,
it's
each
still
game is-
or rook.
Hold on. I've picked more black marbles than red, and there's still more black marbles than red in there. I should keep picking black or 4 or 5 or whatever
Yeah.
you've noticed
Yeah.
to make your point. So you pick it, and you're right in that case. Quick Draw is all set up, and these video gamble lottery things are set up so you think you can see the jar, but you can't. It's behind a wall.
Well, it's
You're
behind
looking
a bunch
at
of
the
computer
screen.
code.
Yeah, it's like how Trump
Yeah.
says, "Oh yeah,
It
they
tricks
picked
you,
the
but it
immigrant
makes you-
lottery from a giant ball hopper like lottery."
But Johnny-
it's like
Yeah.
no, Trump. That's not how that works.
As far as I understand it, the implication of the quick draw game is that every game is completely random.
That's
which
so
means,
not true.
Which means
Sure.
Guarantee you, it's not true. Where in
Did
the
you
fine
read the
print have
terms
you
of
read that?
service?
Yeah, where
you
have
read
you
the
read
terms
that?
I have
and
not read
service?
that, but I think that's the implication.
That's
It's
what
in
they
there.
want you to think the implication is. There's no law. Of
There's
the
no
universe.
Can
guarantee
one of
of
us right now
randomness.
Google the fine print of the fucking quick draw game then? Because like I'd be curious
No.
if they say that we reserve the
Luke,
right to manipulate.
guess what? We should have done that beforehand.
Yeah, you're the one pushing a system here
Oh,
for
I have
winning.
an idea.
I'm the one poking holes in it.
How
So
about we
if
look it
anything,
up
you have to look it
and
up.
then do drunk tank because I need to go get another drink.
Yeah, I'm down to drunk tank. You want to wrap this up?
Yeah, I need to get another drink.
So for the person that listened all the way through and thought they were going to learn how to win the lottery, I just want to
That's
say
what I mean. How
I
did they listen
recommend
this
my
long
method.
to begin with?
I recommend my method.
I recommend Luke's method because I won and I benefited. so I'm
guarantee you,
sold.
if you go to the bar and you pick these numbers,
Nope.
Two.
Stop
Guarantee.
listening.
A guarantee means that you will write me a check for the money I
Two.
lose.
Also not
because it's
true.
a
5,
guarantee.
9,
I like how I'm like the Thunk Tank
27
lawyer arm
and
where I'm like, not
68.
true, fake news.
2, 5, 9, 27, 68. I bet you win money.
And if you tweet at us that you won, we'll accept half of your
Don't be an
winnings.
idiot and play 10 numbers. Don't be an idiot and play like 3 numbers because then you don't win big. Play 5
All right.
numbers. It's right in the middle.
So you said guarantee with legal, which legally means
No,
you
it doesn't.
guarantee my investment.
we'll
No,
get
it
our
does.
lawyers on
That's
this.
what a guarantee
No, no.
means.
There's
So
no
I'm going to spend
legality.
$10. No, I'm not going to abuse it and spend 10 grand. I'm going to spend $10 at the bar, and when this system fails, I'm going to demand you reimburse me because you guaranteed it. I'm
Okay.
going to test it out.
Send me a
I'm
Venmo
really gonna
request.
run
We'll
those
see what
numbers,
happens.
All right,
and I
let's do drunk
guarantee
tank.
you they lose.
I want to do drunk tank.
2, 5,
He's still saying
9.
I wrote it down 2, 5, 9, 27, 68. I'm
Yeah.
going to play them.
I'm
And
gonna
when
go
you're
home.
wrong,
Is that 5
honestly,
numbers?
I'm gonna go play those numbers tonight because I feel good.
listen,
about
asshole. Listen, asshole. When I win, I'm
tell
going to
you what,
send you.
in the intro.
No, no,
to-
we're making a
I'll
deal.
tell you something else.
I'll tell you something else. No, here's the deal. If I win, whatever I win back from my $10 investment, I will send to you. But when I lose my $10, you have to
Yeah,
reimburse
but you've
me.
already admitted that you'll sleep fine if you don't like fulfill the honor of those agreements.
No, I was saying if it's some asshole at the bar, I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm trapped in a genie-esque podcast with you for all of eternity.
Yeah.
In a few different timelines at
Okay,
this point. It's
so
above your head. Don't worry about it.
I think I
But
might
I'm
go
not
play
gonna,
those numbers tonight.
Jesus.
So wait, does that affect
I'm
if I
feeling
play
good
them or
about
not?
them.
I know because you had 3 beers.
I feel good about them. That's
No,
that's
these
the root of
beers
every
are-
gambling
they're only
system. You feel good
7%.
about the numbers.
Jesus. All right, I'm down to drunk tank.
Oh
Are you
wait,
guys
Luke,
down?
do you? Yeah, I just want to. Do you agree to this deal? Let's make this deal on
On
the
air?
and then we'll resolve it
Yeah, I
at a
can always
later
delete
date.
the file if I end up winning. Sure.
Sure. Okay. But yeah, seriously, I'll play
Wait,
your numbers.
if
$10 investment. If I win, that means if I win $300 back, you get $290.
When are you gonna play them?
This week. I'll do
Okay,
it within a week or
Because
two.
like I'll play them at some point, and I don't know if it will be tonight. But even if it's tonight, who knows what time I go play them and what games those will be? You know what I mean?
Okay. What does
So-
that have to do with our bet?
So I mean,
What are you
it's
talking
really
about?
it's really possible that each of us could get away with just pretending we didn't win.
No, I'll send you pictures
Wait,
of
what's
my
the bet
games. I'll
again?
send you pictures of the tickets.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
I have
I'm
to
gonna
send
bet
you my
$10.
winnings if I win.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
there's
bet
no
$10.
chance I'm doing that. No. If I win, I'm keeping it.
No. If I win,
You're sending it to me.
I'll send you the winnings, but I get to keep the money I invested. If I lose my money, you have to pay me back that $10.
And it will only be $10.
$10. We agreed on that. Because you said guarantee, so
and
I'm
you
testing
Skype,
your guarantee.
You Skype shake on that.
I'll Skype shake on that.
All right.
But
I'm
you said
sticking out my
guarantee.
hand.
This is a challenge. This is a challenge on your guarantee of your number system. This whole episode is called "How to Win the Lottery."
Can I tell you?
You gave
but
me
I
numbers.
have to tell
I'm
you
going to test
exactly
it.
how to play. I don't know the Oregon rules, but 5 games. Play those numbers 5 times in a row for $1.
All right.
So $1 times 5
games.
games equals $5. Now, if you want to, I don't know why you said $10, but I usually play $5
Well, I don't know. The games might be $2 games here. I'll have to check. I've never done it.
Well, if you play a $2
but
game,
whatever it is, it'll be
if Joe
5
and I
games.
had checked off the $2 box per game, I would have given the guy a $10 bill,
So-
and then we would have won $600.
Right, but
Yeah.
I don't know what
Oh,
it is.
fuck,
I'll
really?
do.
Yeah,
I'm
we should
just
have done
saying.
that.
Damn. What were we
Don't
thinking?
you see how it works, Joe? You got to believe in it.
But Luke, I'll do the lowest. I'll do the lowest number. I'll do 5 games, the lowest dollar amount. I assume it's $1, but if it's $2, I'll do that. So we'll agree to that, right? The
Okay.
lowest
So
amount.
boring.
Yeah, I won't pay you
All
more
right.
than $10.
He's just for a math guy. It's really hard to get him to agree to like a simple.
He's not a math
agreement.
guy. He's just a lunatic.
Yeah, I'm a lunatic
Well,
who
he
sits
says
on
he's a
park
math
benches
guy.
and
Yeah.
should really get a
And
real
should-
job.
No,
I want to spend the money. I want you gambling.
All right, well, thanks for listening. I hope you got something out of this. And
Okay.
any closing words? Well, if you want to hear us on the Drunk Tank, we're going to keep
Can I
going.
just quickly tell you in 1 minute? Describe the way I gamble is very different. Don't hang up on me. Wow, he's really gonna hang up on me.
No, he's just making
I'm just
you feel like
hovering.
it.
You
I'm
can
just
hover.
ready. I'm just hovering.
It's you. I buy a ticket maybe twice a year when you see it in the news.
I
When the
agree.
news starts
You play
talking about
sparingly.
making
Yeah.
what?
You play sparingly. I agree.
Right.
With
If it's like a $3, $4, $5, $600 million, $750 million, like all right, I'll spend $1 just to fantasize about being a billionaire, almost a near billionaire, or having hundreds of millions of dollars. That's like I can buy my own island and make people hunt each other on it money.
Yeah,
So that's worth
right.
just the daydream of it for a day. So I'll buy
It's
the
like
ticket.
I gotta look into this Powerball.
I'll buy the ticket and then keep it in my wallet for like weeks after the drawing's done.
Yeah.
And I'll do that sometimes, and I'll check, and I'll see in the news they'll say winning ticket hasn't been cashed in yet, and I like to kind of think maybe that's me because it makes the story better. It stretches out. It's like not scratching the scratch
it's
off
about
for
the
a while
story.
and
It's
just
about
like
the
keeping
journey,
it
not
on
the
your
destination.
But
counter.
then, like, it turns out you pulled out your credit
I'm
card to
stretching
pay
the
for some
journey
like
out.
takeout food, and like the ticket like fell out, and like you're a piece of shit because you just like threw away $2 million.
That happened to my
Right,
friend.
that's still a
Yeah.
great story, but I'm just saying.
No, it's not a story.
it's-
You never knew about it because you threw away the ticket without knowing.
Well, you might.
Yeah,
know
or I
about
could
it.
get shot before I get to cash it in. At which case, who cares? if I
Or
was
you find out,
rich? I would have
you
been
know how
shot.
you would find out? You'd be like, hey, I lost my ticket. Where did it go? And then you would see
Where
on the
did it
news
come
somebody
from?
found a
Cotton Eye
ticket in the
Joe.
fucking In-N-Out burger place, blah, blah, blah. And you'd be like, I was there. Oh, fuck me.
It might have
Fuck
been
me.
mine.
Seriously, fuck me. If you
Yeah,
could
but-
suspect that like the ticket that you may have like
Yeah, but see, Luke, part of
idiotically
my
thrown out, like
part of the fantasy of winning a 300 million to 1 odds lottery drawing is not hedging your bets in it to optimize your chance. It's about leaning into that fantasy. I'm never going to win the $700 million draw.
Yeah.
It's just I like to maybe, and I don't dwell on it or obsess about it, but I like to just when I see it sticking out of my wallet, think about, be like, wow, what would I do? Like. While I'm out
Yeah.
somewhere,
That's why I like
maybe
that's
I
what
would
most
buy
stuff.
this.
in a practical sense.
Maybe
that's
I
what
would
most
buy
people
this
are actually
ham
getting out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I would buy this ham store I just walked by that I would never go in and buy ham supplies
What?
from. There's
It's
there's
an
a ham
investment.
store.
It's an investment.
There's a ham store in my town, but I would buy it
hamster?
just so when I walk in,
No,
they can be
ham
like, "Oh,
store.
Mr. John, welcome," and I can walk behind the counter and just fill a pillowcase
This
up.
is a weird fantasy.
Hold on.
happening?
Can we
and I
save
can
this
fill a
fantasy for Drunk
pillowcase
Tank?
up with. I'm not done. No.
I got
I
it
can
in
fill
my
a
pocket.
pillowcase
Oh
up
my
with
God, you got it.
hams.
The winning
I got the
numbers.
winning numbers in my pocket.
Oh shit!
If you're watching
okay,
on
let's
YouTube,
wrap
you
it
can
up.
see
Let's
the
go
code.
cash that in. Let's save this for the drunk tank. You're right.
All right. So thank you for joining us.
We're
on-
going to talk more about fantasy in the Drunk Tank because I think
it's gonna be
it's
all
all about
fantasy.
fantasy.
Yeah,
but
it's all-
Yes. Okay. That's
you
the topic
regular
of the
listeners
drunk
don't deserve to hear that level of detail.
Or
So,
just say no, Luke. Just say subscribe on
we
Patreon.
love the fact that you listen. Please subscribe.
Yeah. Why are you calling them
Um,
assholes?
thank you for
It doesn't have
listening.
to be Patreon. You can just PayPal us.
There are
money
hundreds of
directly.
you
We
for-
like that too.
And
Thousands.
thank you.
Thousands.
Even thousands.
Thousands. It sounds.
I've
better.
ridden in a Cadillac hundreds of times.
Thousands.
All right. Before it goes into more
All
Seinfeld,
right.
I just wanted to.
We're right on that border of oh shit. God damn it.
What?
He hung up on us.
I don't care. He's
I
still
know,
a
but, like,
loser.
I mean, I could edit it so that we
I'm just
won.
doing the Trump thing. Loser. You just call everybody
all right.
a loser.
You have to pee. I have to pee.
I have to get more drink.
Podcast over. I have to check in with my fiance and see. We were supposed to go to dinner. but, like,
Oh, you're checking in, and then you're standing her up for dinner to do a drunk tank.
she took a
It's
nap,
horrible.
which means it could be like a long nap.
D-
Apparently, I coughed all night and they kept her up.
Why are you such an asshole?
I don't know. I don't remember coughing because
Now you're
I
blowing
got drunk
off
at
for
this
dinner.
party and just like slept like a baby.
Oh yeah, because I drove. You guys were raging.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Fair enough.
As soon as you were driving, I was like, yeah, I'll rage,
Fair enough.
and then play the lottery.
All right. Well, good luck with
Do you
your
remember
own.
what the numbers I said?
No. Good.
2.
It's on the recording.
That's true.
Well, good luck with your own lottery. We should say, play responsibly.
Yep. And none of what we said is
It's
to
true
say
or
that you
accurate,
should,
Right.
engage with a gambling problem.
No. There's hotline
know.
numbers you can call. There's more podcast episodes you can listen to.
It is a fun.
There's
it's,
money
it's
you
a
can
fun
give
thing
us
to
on
do, though,
Patreon
like,
instead. Patreon.com.
I tell you what, take your bet on us. Take a bet on us.
Take a bet on us. Take a
Boom.
bet.
Let's end it there.
Take a bet on
How to
yourself.
win the lottery? Take a bet.
Take a
on the
bet
Thunk
on
Tank.
yourself by taking a bet on us.
And that, folks, is
How she goes.
Give me your best transatlantic accent, like this sort of like.
Well, yeah, we're in the lotto now. We're lotto deep.
Well,
Brought
I'll
to
tell
you
you,
by
folks,
Bed
we're gonna
Bath
win
and
the lotto
Beyond.
now.
We have
You know,
beds,
this is how you win the
baths,
lotto. You
and
know,
beyond. Brought
you buy
to you,
the lotto tickets, you win
sponsored
it.
by New York
Sponsored by
State
that.
Lottery.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Mickey Mouse is on his way. Ha
All right, bye.
ha.
Oh, that's right. I hung up on you bitches. Haven't done the hang up game in a while. New listeners will know, won't know, that we sometimes try to hang up on each other. And it was created to encourage us to hurry up and end the podcast instead of rambling for hours, but it failed this time. Regardless, I won, so you'll hear me last after they ramble for a bit. So thanks or do you hear me first? I don't remember how it even works, but I won. Thanks for listening. And like, share, subscribe, imbibe, drink beers, and, keep on going. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening to the Thunk Tank podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to help us out, please consider leaving a rating or a review wherever you listen to podcasts, and share it with people you think might like it. And if you really want to support us, you can go over to patreon.com/ThunkTankPodcast. We have links to this in the episode description and other places. And for as little as $1 an episode, you can help us keep the lights on. And you also get access to a very special Drunk Tank feed of episodes. So every few episodes, we'll have a few more beers and record an extra 20 to 30 minutes of extra thunky, silly whateverness. So there's a separate RSS link you can get from there, and if you put that into a podcast player, you'll get your own separate feed of only the Drunk Tanks. I think we have about 6 or 7 of them out already, and more to come. Thanks for listening, and stay funky.